There she is, taking photocopies of every page of my A&D book with all of my customer data on it with her personal cell phone.
Welcome back, everybody. As you can probably guess from the title of the video, today we are going over a video that I put up, several other people did as well, of an ATF agent, or an IOI to be more specific. IOIs are the people from the ATF who go out and inspect FFL holders. FFL holders are people who are licensed to sell firearms in America, for those of you guys who did not know. And the footage comes from an audit from Black Metal Firearms. The audit occurred, from my understanding, from December through February. I did just get off the phone with the owner who posted the video and asked him all the details about it because I wanted to make sure I was getting the specifics correct. So I took some notes here and we'll just sort of walk through it. So one of the big things in this story that you'll see is that his records, or their records rather, at that firearm shop were done on paper, not electronically. So the ATF, as an FFL, for example, the ATF gave me the option to have my records electronic or to be paper. And that's the case for everybody. It's perfectly legal to have paper records. Most companies use the electronic one because it's just easier to manage. And of course, you can save it, back it up, save it in cloud, etc. But it's perfectly legal to use paper, and they used paper. Now, the ATF wants everybody to use the electronic one because it's easier for them to take the data and put it into their searchable database, which is illegal, and they say that they do not have. But again, if you watch the channel here, we've done videos on that. They do have one, 100%. It's been proven through FOIA requests. So anyway, this lady comes in, and again, like I said, their inspection was December through February. Typically, an FFL inspection by an ATF agent takes 1 to 5 days, depending on the agent, how many firearms they've sold, etc. That's pretty normal. So a 3-month audit is pretty abnormal, but again, that may have to do with the fact that they're on paper. So the ATF agent in the video asked them why they were using paper and not electronic. The owner stated that he didn't trust the government with that information, and apparently that upset her. Now, I totally get his reasoning for that. As somebody who does what I do, I don't trust them either, because I've been reporting on their violations over the years, and they are numerous, and those are only the ones that we know about. So again, that upset her. And then in the video, what she's doing, you can see, is she's going page by page through their logbook, which contains the firearm, where it came from, serial number, the type of firearm, the date it came in, the date it was transferred, the person who it was transferred to, and their address, and basically all the information that's either on their license or their concealed carry permit, or both. Typically has a photocopy as well. Just depends. That's state dependent. But anyway, so she was using her personal phone, not her government phone, to take photos of every single page. And apparently she stated that she was using an app that is a scannable app, and basically allowed the pages, if you take a photo of a page and it's off angle, it straightens it automatically, so that way it's easier to read. So they did this for all of their logbooks, over 4,000 records they scanned. And the owner stated that they were concerned about the legality of it. She just blew them off and kept doing it anyway. So it is what it is. There's 6 different books that she took these pictures of, again, over 4,000 records, and several clerical errors were noted during the inspection. Now, anybody who's ever gone through an ATF inspection, that's completely normal, like 100% normal. They will always find something. I've never met an FFL holder who's gone through an inspection and said that they didn't find anything wrong. There's a few reasons for this. One, certain things are done different regionally. So there's that. Different IOI, or the inspecting agents, want things a certain way. For example, at my old FFL, the previous IOI said that they wanted every single person to put their phone number at the top of the front page and then initial after it. Well, the next person that came through and said, no, it should be on the bottom page. So that's a clerical error, just based on what the IOI says they want to see, for example. So that's completely normal. So according to the owner, 45 4473s had errors, or were determined to have errors, out of over 4,000 that were checked. A couple examples of that were folks who had concealed carry permits that had recently expired. So like, say it expired June 30th, they actually purchased the firearm on like July 2nd or something like that. I believe there was 3 of those. Don't quote me on that. I didn't note that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And with that, that is an extremely low rate. 45 out of over 4,000 is very, very low for clerical errors. Anybody who has an FFL, ask them, they will tell you that's extremely low. But even in those cases where the permits had expired, the customers actually came back in and presented their current permits, and all of them had the permits during the period when the firearm was sold. So they were able to verify that it wasn't actually an unlawful transfer because they just gave them the wrong permit. Customer gave the gun shop the wrong permit. So that's what happened in all of those cases. Other issues they had, because they are manufacturers, or excuse me, in 07, 02, which is what I am as well, manufacturer, they were able to manufacture SBRs, machine guns, etc. And some of them had engraving done incorrectly. Some of them didn't mark who the manufacturer was correctly according to the ATF agent. And again, there's different interpretations on how to do that. You can look through all the different letters that have been issued by the ATF over the years, and they're contradictory. So what is the actual way it should be done right? It's tough to tell sometimes. So they're just doing the best they can. And typically, I should point this out as well, over the years, like if you talk to FFLs that have been in business for years, the reason the ATF does these inspections on paper is not to take away your FFL if you're doing it wrong. It's to show you how to do it right. So if you're doing something incorrectly, it's to correct you. So probably the most famous example that I can think of in recent years of an ATF inspection just going way wrong is the old Stag Arms. So not current Stag Arms. I think they've actually gone through 2 ownership changes since then, but the old Stag Arms, basically what was happening was they were making full auto AR-15 lower receivers, so with a full auto pocket cut, and they weren't engraved yet. And basically in their assembly line, the lowers were there, they weren't engraved, but they were milled out for the full auto pocket cut, and then they would get engraved. Well, an ATF agent came by during the inspection and said, hey, these have to be engraved before they're machined into a machine gun, what the ATF considers a machine gun anyway. So they said, don't worry about it. Next time we come back, just make sure they're engraved before they're machined. Well, ATF comes back like 6 months, a year later, and the exact same thing was happening. So their assembly line hadn't changed at all. They had a bunch of unengraved, full auto pocket cut lowers, and the owner was actually arrested at that point for illegal manufacture of machine guns. But just to kind of prove the point I was just saying, where it's to try to help you do it right, that was the intent back then. So think about it. At the time they walked in there, Stag Arms had lots, I don't know how many, of illegal machine guns sitting there, according to the ATF. But instead of arresting them, instead of fining them, they were like, hey, this is what you need to do to make it better. That's the way it's supposed to work for these inspections. However, Joe Biden has announced, and I've made a video on it, that his plan, part of his plan to reduce gun sales, I guess you could say, is to take the FFL license away from more FFLs. And so far this year, from my understanding, there's over 500 FFLs that have been revoked. And that's the highest of any year on record. Things like that are not a coincidence. And with that, this gun shop that we're talking about here, ATF agent that went in there recommended them to have their FFL removed. Now, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it never happens. There's a review board that goes over these things, and again, that was back in February. They still have their license as of today. It has not been revoked yet, but they were literally sitting in limbo, waiting to see if their ability to provide for their family is going to be taken away by some bureaucrat, right? So it's an unfortunate situation to be in, and I want to commend them for releasing the video, because obviously they saw what was happening was wrong. And now, of course, by releasing the video, they're putting their livelihood in jeopardy, right? In further jeopardy than it already was. But the reason I'm making this video is to draw attention to it, hopefully get some political cover, if you will. So last week I made a video about the ATF going door to door asking to see guns with serial numbers on them, to confirm serial numbers, while they were fully kitted up with guns, which obviously is wrong. And now, since I put that video up, and several others have posted about it as well, there's congressmen who are submitting official inquiries to the ATF of why the heck they're doing this, and telling them to stop doing it. Hopefully that's going to be the outcome of this video as well. That's why I'm making this video, to draw attention to what the ATF is doing. Again, she's scanning those into an illegal database. It is specifically prohibited by Congress to do that. Additionally, she's using her personal phone that has all of those customers' data on it, what guns they have, where they live, etc. And it's unsecured. The gun shop owner rather said that she had 2 phones, personal and government, but the personal one was the one with the app on there that auto-corrected it and read it. So that's the one she was using for all of these things. Completely illegal, 100% illegal in every way. Hopefully there's a congressman out there that's going to FOIA that and get those records from her, because even though it was her personal phone, if she's using it for government business, it's voidable. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully there's an investigation into this. And the last thing I want to touch on is that a lot of people in my Instagram, where I posted the video on it, in the comment section said, why did they just let her do it? Why didn't they stop it? Well, you can't, I mean, it's illegal to physically stop them from doing it. And as a FFL, you agree to let the ATF inspect you, right? You don't agree to let them take photos of your paper documents, obviously, but unless you know like a federal agent that can come down and physically stop them, or maybe a sheriff, depending on where you live, that can do it, there's not much you could do at the time to physically stop it until obviously it's over, and then you can try to take legal recourse, and hopefully that happens, and hopefully this video helps spur that. So with that, guys, that's really all I got for you. If you have any questions about this, the process, anything like that, you can post them down below at the various social media sites that I have here on your screen, or down below in the comment section of this video. Additionally, if you like this type of video, unfortunately, we make them very often because the ATF breaks the law very frequently. So definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you've done that, and you're still not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel. Make sure you sign up for my email at the website here on the screen. This email has all the videos since the last email went out. It goes out once a month, and it's not spammy or anything like that, but that way it prevents them from censoring your eyes and my content. And additionally, those of you who already follow me probably know we post a lot of deals on guns, gear, ammo, etc. And it goes out in the daily deals email, and it goes out every day, as the name indicates, and you can sign up for it here at the website on your screen. And if it's in there, anything that's in there is the cheapest that I know of anywhere on the internet on that day. So that way it saves you guys some time and hopefully saves you some money. I'll also put a link here to the actual firearms dealer that we're talking about. So that way you can go support them as well if you want to do so. With that, I'm losing my voice, so we're going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.